What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into a live edition of the Buccaneers podcast on this beautiful Wednesday. It's draft eve here. It's like Christmas Eve, but draft eve. And we're excited to talk Bucs football. We got Huncho, myself, and special guest, lifelong fan and listener of the show's Jeremy joining us as well. It looks like Huncho's on the road somewhere right now, so let's hope his internet holds up. But nonetheless, it's Tones and Jeremy. Tampa Tones and Jeremy at the very least. I don't know where Stunna is. Haven't heard from him. So we'll see what the hell happens. But Jeremy, how are you, my friend? Are you ready to talk some NFL draft?
Oh, yes. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. Like I said, I've been doing so many mock drafts off the wazoo the last 2 months, and I finally got my mock draft together. I'm ready to talk football, brother. Like I said, it's going to be a fun time in the next 3 days, man.
I feel like it's one of those things where it always feels like, oh, the draft, we got forever, and people kind of start talking about it even during college football season, right? Like, oh, look out for this guy in the draft, or, what's the status of this guy in next year's draft? And it's like, dude, why are we talking about that? We got forever until the NFL draft hits, and the next thing you know, it's February, and mocks start getting real, and then March and April approach, and then before you know it, it's like the draft is here, and it seems like it goes that way every year. And I was actually supposed to be at the draft this year. I'm not going to be, sadly. That's a whole nother story, but I'm looking forward to watching it with my dad, at least, and my brother and my family. So I'm going to hang out with the fam. We're going to get together and watch the draft. Jeremy, you got any plans? What are you about to be doing tomorrow or Friday or Saturday for the draft? Is we bring in Huncho after we get your answer?
Straight up, I mean, I'm probably going to bring my projector, cook on the grill, have a couple friends over, kind of see what happens. Take it by slow. I'm like a nerd, bro. I mean, I'm going to watch the whole entire draft, like, from first all the way to seven. And sometimes my friends on about, waiting the whole entire process. But me, I love watching it. I like seeing the trade ups. I like seeing all these other trades that happen, especially last year in the first round with all these trades. So I'll be at home, plus watching the Lightning game, praying that, they do a little bit better. Hopefully they can get a win and get the confidence back.
We need it more than ever, and the Lightning, that is, need it more than ever. Speaking of needing it more than ever, Huncho, how the hell are you? Can you hear me, my brother?
Yes, I'm sorry, my car loud. I'm driving. I'm almost to the house right now, though. But yeah, I'm good. I plan on going to the stadium tomorrow and watching the draft party. It's gonna be my first time, so I'm ready to see what that experience is gonna be like.
Gonna be amped, according to Jeremy. You've been to that before, the Ray J before for the draft, right, Jeremy?
Oh, it's awesome. Just amazing vibes, great fans. Go out there and just, enjoy being a Bucs fan, man.
I'm actually curious to
Especially
see.
that we're going to be going.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, my bad. No, but you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. They make it really entertaining. And hopefully we stay in the first round this year so you can at least see who we pick. Because last year kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, were you at the draft? Was there a draft? Were you at the one last year?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately. I was at the last one I went to was when we drafted OJ Howard. That's the
I
last
was gonna,
one.
I was gonna say, I wonder what the hell happens when, like, they trade back or trade, when they trade out of the first round. I wonder what the vibe is like there.
I'm pretty sure the fans were pretty upset because, they're there having a good time, getting excited, and then poof, we traded out of the first round. I mean, even I was sitting at home on my living room waiting and waiting to see who we're going to get. I heard rumors we were going to trade, our pick, but not out of the first round. So it's like, oh, great. Now we got to wait a whole other day.
Especially with how late the draft goes too, right? You're kind of sitting there hoping that the pick is a good one on night one, and then when you draft back. Now, last year, I will say, I think the Bucs are going to draft Logan Hall probably with that first round pick anyways, maybe. So the fact that they traded back, at least, I think they ended up with the same guy. Not saying it was necessarily the right guy, but, we'll see how that pans out. Still a lot of time left. on Logan's career. We're going to be back in under 90 seconds. We're going to run the intro quick and then get into Jeremy's mock draft, and then we're going to team build the three of us collectively. I'll explain that when we get back on the Buccaneers, but we're going to roll the intro. Nobody go anywhere. We're live here on the Buccaneers and on Bucs Life News Facebook page, breaking down the 2023 NFL draft, specifically your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what we might do tomorrow is Anthony Richardson in the picture. We'll see. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a flash after the intro on the Buccaneers. Fire the damn cannons. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Buccaneers podcast. Tampa Tones, Huncho, Jeremy, J-Lo, we call him, the great J-Lo, we'll say. We're taking you to a little over middle of the hour. We're going to try and get out of here by 7:40. So about a half hour of draft talk coming up. We're going to try and keep it nice and sweet. We're going to get Jeremy's mock, and we're going to team build our draft and get just anyone's opinions and insight. Thoughts, any last thoughts on the draft? You guys are listening to the Buccaneers live on our YouTube, Facebook, Bucs Life Facebook, and so much more. Jeremy, big draft tomorrow. We'll get to your mock draft here in a second, but post-Brady era, I put out a tweet earlier today that I was honestly looking forward to the draft post-Brady era. And not that I didn't look forward to these drafts with Tom Brady, but when you have Tom Brady, you're kind of feeling like you're going to compete no matter what. You feel like the draft pick might be on hindrance of Tom Brady's shoulders, which nothing against that. But now here we are looking dead in the eye of a 2023 draft, and we're not starting over completely, but we're retooling, as our GM and Jason Light and Coach Todd Bowles were to say. How are you feeling about this draft compared to the Brady era drafts?
I mean, sooner or later it was going to come. You know, Brady wasn't going to last forever. I mean, I'm thankful we got a Super Bowl out of it. And, you know, last year Brady wasn't Brady. You can tell that he was not really there. And that's where I kind of had a sense like, okay, let's go ahead and look at what the other options are, because obviously Brady wasn't coming back. It was showing during the season, and thank you for everything he's done, put us back on the map. So now we just put the hands of Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. You know, Baker, I feel like when he's healthy, has the right game plan, practice with the players. I feel like he can give us the best chance to at least win the division and make a playoff run. Fans want to jump ship and say, oh, well, you know, we lost Brady, it's all over. No. Our division's still not as strong as everybody thinks it is. Derek Carr going to New Orleans, okay, nothing new, more challenging. New Orleans has been a thorn in our butts for so many years. So, like I said, I mean, so far, Light's made really good moves, getting us, you know, at least competitive to at least hit the division again. And our schedule is not that bad as last year. So I got to admit, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask ballot out, training camp, preseason. I mean, don't sleep on Trask. I mean, people want to sleep on Trask, you know, because he got that 2-drive play, last game of the year. But put with the starters. Put in the starters and let's see what he's got. That's all I can really say about that.
I agree, and as the Godfather James Rubright is joining us on Facebook now, thanks so much for tuning in. But I agree, Jeremy. I mean, we're all thankful for Brady's times and what he's done and whatnot, but life goes on, right? It's like everything in life. You take the best out of the recipe, and life still goes on, and that's how the Bucs are without Tom Brady. And we're looking a very, very beatable 3 opponents in our division right in the eyes with Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta, and whatnot. And our schedule, to me, isn't too bad, honestly. I think we have a decent schedule. We're playing our division twice, which is always a bonus. We're playing the Bears division, which has Bears, Lions, Vikings, and Packers this year, which honestly doesn't sound as scary as it once did. And we're playing the Colts division, which consists the Texans, the Titans, and the Colts, all a little bit in disarray. And then you got the Jaguars, who are pretty dang good. But, and then it could be a lot worse outside of that, in my opinion. Hunch, what say you? Are you on the same page with Jeremy and I, where we're looking forward to this draft pick and then the season that follows because we think we could compete? Or do you view this first-round pick as kind of a reset pick, and we're not going to be competitive for a couple of seasons?
Man, honestly, that's the thing about this pick. It's very interesting. I'm not quite sure where we're going at because we got quite a few holes that we need to fill. But also, you want to know what you want to address with this draft because right now I'm leaning towards if Will Levis is there, I'll take him. Anthony Richardson, whatever. If a good quarterback, one of these quarterbacks falls to us, I'm down for that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's up in the air. You never know what Jason like. You know what I'm saying? You never know where he's going to go and what direction he's going to go. And I think that what makes it interesting. Are they all in with Baker, or is it if one of these guys here on the board, would you take him, or are you leaning towards Bijan Robinson? Do you want to take a tackle early? I mean, you can go anyways. You got safety, Branch. It's a lot of directions you can go with this draft, and but I do honestly think with Light, he's never laying down and he's never just preparing for the next year. He always wants to at least be competitive that year. So I don't think this is just going to be a Barry year. If we're going to try, I think he's going to try with the best of what he has to win. You know what I'm saying? And that can be with a, he did pretty good in free agency, bringing in the guys he did with what we had to work with in money wise. So I don't think he's laying down. I don't think this is just going to be a lay down year. I think he's going to try to come out at least competitive, at least try to win a division.
And I feel like as well, and I agree with you there, because Bowles is fighting for his career as a head coach, that is. You look at his career numbers with the Jets and Bucs, and he has a playoff appearance, and he has a 10-win season with the Jets, but, he doesn't really have a lot else of a resume, much else of a resume built, I should say. So to me, when Bowles is looking at this draft class, he's going to want to draft something that helps him win now, and that's why, as appealing as a quarterback might be, will that be the best interest of Todd Bowles? Maybe not. Maybe what's in the best interest of the Buccaneers isn't in the best interest of Todd Bowles, but time will tell. I mean, we're about 24 hours away from a lot of these unsolved questions getting answers and potentially getting clarity. And I'll tell you what, fellas, it's really going to depend on what happens with that number 3 overall pick that belongs to Arizona right now. I think pretty assured that the Colts the Panthers number 1 overall are going to go quarterback, right? Pretty certain whether it's the Texans or somebody who trades for that number 2 is going to go QB as well, which almost puts Arizona in position at number 3 to control the tempo of the first round. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible that the Texans skip on a QB at 2 because then they have another first round pick where they can take one, maybe a Hendon Hooker, maybe they trade back again, yada, yada, yada. But it's safe to say that 3rd pick with Arizona, since they have Kyler Murray, is going to be the tone setter if they trade it or if they select someone. Real quick thoughts on that. Jeremy, what say you? And what do you think Arizona ultimately ends up doing with the 3rd overall pick? Do you think they trade or stay?
Well, when you mentioned the Cardinals, I don't think the Texans have taken a quarterback at number 2. I
Mm,
think they're really sold on Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson. I really don't think they're sold on CJ Stroud. He has fallen for some reason. I don't know why. But the Cardinals, I could see definitely making a trade to a team that really wants that quarterback, whether it's Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, or Will Levis. I'm sorry. So I think it just depends how bad that team wants that quarterback. And the Cardinals can either trade, get some draft picks, which I think would be smart if I was in the top 10. But some tells me they're going to stay put because I feel like the Texans are going to take Will Anderson and the Cardinals are going to stay put and take the best player available because these quarterbacks are falling bad. I don't know why, but now you got C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and then of course Anthony Richardson all falling, which makes the draft more interesting for all the other teams that want a quarterback or they want the best player on the board. So I think
right.
the Cardinals stay put. That's just me.
And I think you make a great point with the quarterbacks falling. And for some reason, we've kind of been seeing this happen of late. I remember last year, a lot of people were thinking, oh, maybe 2 or 3 QBs go in the first round, maybe a Malik Willis and Matt Corral. And we ended up getting one with Kenny Pickett. You look back a couple of years ago, and same thing happens. Drew Lock was almost guaranteed to be a first round pick heading into draft day for his draft. He fell to round number 2. You go all the way back to 2013. You almost had 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round, locked up with guys like Ryan Nassib. And I remember he was supposed to go as the first QB that year. Only QB that went that year ended up being EJ Manuel of Florida State. So I think you're right as well. The Texans with a defensive-minded head coach and DeMeco Ryans might be looking to just stick with the defense of Guru in that first pick, and then they might take a QB or trade back and still take a QB with their second first-round pick. So they got a lot of leverage there, do the Texans. So I think pick number 2 could cause just as much chaos as pick number 3. So, Hunch, let me ask you this since Jeremy makes a good point. If you had a guess, do you think it's going to be the Texans at pick number 2 or the Cardinals at pick number 3 that causes the chaos in the first round? Do you think that the Texans are going to go, we'll just keep a quarterback, keep this pick and take a quarterback and life will be good and leave it up to Arizona? Or do you think the Texans are going to say, hold my beer, we're going to go defense and see what happens?
I think definitely if we talking about quarterbacks, I feel like Texans are more in a position of need at the quarterback position than the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm pretty sure they're going to stick with a quarterback. And you never know which one they're looking at because I seen Mac Jones go. He came out of nowhere. Was it Mac? I mean Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. He came out of nowhere and he got picked. You understand? So I wasn't even that pick alone shocked me. So I kind of stay open-minded about that. And so I don't know if anything is going to be the Cardinals just to see what they're going to do. I don't know if they do pull the trigger on the quarterback. That will be surprising. And I know having Kyler Murray there, I mean, that's going to put a lot of pressure on him, and that's going to give him like another option what they really want to do. But if anything, I definitely would say it's going to be Arizona it's going to be that surprise pick. But I definitely believe Texans are going to pick a quarterback, just not sure which one it may be. I'm not even sure what the number one, who's going to go with the number one. It's so up and down. They say Stroud one day, then they say
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Then they say Bryce Young one day. So it's sometimes it's all over the place, man. And every day I'm just looking at these drafts and they talking about people stock going up, people stock going down. So it's up in the air.
Now, let me ask you guys this, and we got our comments coming in from Joe, my brother, over at Cleve and Me podcast. Huncho, we'll start with you, then we'll get Jeremy's thoughts. And Joe, clarify quick, Bucs or Colts? Okay, that he actually clarified it without even me asking him, so that's good. My brother using his brain of his, so always a good thing to see. I was going to ask him if he was referring to the Bucs or Colts, but we'll discuss both before we get into our draft since he is tuning in as a Colts guy. First we'll go with the Bucs since that's our team, then we'll discuss the Colts. Huncho, the Bucs, obviously Jason Light, our GM, is prone to trade him back. We just seen it last year, as
Right.
Jeremy and I discussed earlier with Logan Hall. We've seen it in years past as well, Jason Light trade back. Do you think that the Bucs trade back here? I mean, we've seen it when they took Vita Vea and Logan Hall. Do we see it again here? Do you think there's any chance that the Bucs trade back?
It's a strong possibility that because Jason Light is never shy to trade back, and after last year, I mean, I honestly hope he doesn't trade back like he did last year out of the whole first round, and then we have to wait the day two to honestly see who we're gonna pick. So I think at that pick we did take OJ right there, so he might stay put. He might just stay put depending on who's on the board. So I'm going for him to stay put. If anything, maybe move up if there's a certain guy there. But I think it'll have to be a future guy for him to move up, a plug-in play guy right there that you can see that's going to start this year. If you're going to move up. If not,
like Tristan Wirfs.
Right, you'll move up for those type of guys. Instead of if it's going to be one of the quarterbacks, I genuinely will want one of the quarterbacks to fall to us. I wouldn't want to have to move up for one of the quarterbacks. And even if you got Bijan Robinson sitting in front of you, sit there and stay put. I don't want to move up and sacrifice anything. If you do trade back, I don't want to do too much. If their guy is still there on the board and they feel like none of the teams upcoming is going to take them, so trading back won't hurt them as much as moving up, then I say trade back and still get your guy and accumulate extra pick. So, but for right now, I'm just gonna say I think Jason Light just stays put at 19. But you never know how that draft board and how it falls. And when people go to calling, I mean, if they come with an offer you can't refuse, man, you got to jump on it.
And I agree with you, Huncho. We never know how it's quite going to play out, especially when you got teams like the Raiders in there who, seemingly take guys who no one's even thinking of our first-round possibilities.
Wow.
And then,
you won't even have a clue.
Exactly.
You won't even have a clue.
So, I mean, I do hope we stay as well. I know that as JC Allen joins the show from Pewter Report, one of the finest in the millions and millions watching. JC Allen, we all appreciate you tuning in, JC. Jeremy, let's ask you the same thing now that we just asked Hunch. The Bucs trade back. Cleveland Me says he doesn't want the Bucs to trade back. Huncho seems like he's pretty sturdy on the Bucs staying put right now. What say you? Do you think that the Bucs trade back, or I should say, do you hope or want the Bucs to trade back?
Well, first and foremost, it depends who's on the board. If Bijan Robinson, if he falls to 19, and everybody keeps hyping it up that we're going to take Bijan Robinson, me as a GM, Bijan Robinson, who's like top 3 prospect in the whole entire draft, if you are at 19 and teams come calling, they're going to come calling. Cowboys, I would say trade back. Stock up your draft picks. Because we got so many holes to fill. Even though I do like Bijan Robinson a lot, but I'm really comfortable with Rashad White, leading the way with Keyshawn Vaughn. And they brought in Edmonds, who could be a third down pass catching back. It just depends who's on the board. But me, I favor trade back. Stock up your draft picks because there's so many prospects as far as edge, corners, safety. So if you can trade back with a team like Chargers, Baltimore, and get like a 4th or 5th round pick, I take it any day of the week because I feel like the linemen, like Darnell White, I know they're really favoring a lot. I think he's going to be gone. I feel like the only one left is going to be Anton Harrison. He's probably the only one that I would take a chance because left tackle, I personally don't want to move Tristan to left unless we have to. But we can get Tristan on the right and drive Harrison at left, trade back like 3 spots for 5th. Why not? So I think Light, knowing him as a bed man, he'll trade back.
And I could agree with that. I think Light could trade back, and it's a draft, whereas we've talked about a little bit in our group chats and Paul Chin is joining us on Facebook. Thanks so much for tuning into the Buccaneers this evening, Paul Chin. great guy he is, joining us on Facebook. I think that if the Bucs do accumulate picks and trading back, it might not be a bad thing. I've done a mock draft where I was offered some pretty good picks for the 19th pick. I got the 25th pick, the 82nd pick, and then a day 3 pick next year. So I think packages are there, and I think this is the sort of draft where trading back would make sense. There's not a ton of great guys. There's a lot of good guys, but not a ton of great guys in this first round. At least that's what the so-called experts are saying, but we know how that all goes. Fellas, let's slice the cake this way for the Colts. We got a Colts question, and then we'll get into some more Bucs coverage. But Joe from Cleveland me says, for Colts, my question is if Stroud, Levis, and Richardson is available. So he's presuming that Young is guaranteed to be gone, Bryce Young. For Stroud, Levis, and Richardson is available, and you have to take one. Who are you guys going with? We need to win sooner than later if that plays a factor for y'all. Jeremy, we'll start with you here, then we'll go with Hunch, then I'll give my opinion. If you're the Colts, and let's say they don't trade up, let's say they're sitting there at the 4th pick tomorrow, and let's say the Texans and Cardinals both go defense or O-line, there's Anthony Richardson, there's Will Levis, there's CJ Stroud, and we'll even throw Hendon Hooker in there just because. Who would you go with out of Hooker, Stroud, Richardson, and Levis sitting at pick 4 for the Indianapolis Colts?
From what I've been reading on, I think this could be Will Levis. I think Levis has definitely gained some ground. I feel like CJ Stroud has kind of fallen off the board a little bit from what I've been reading on Twitter. So if it was me, I see Levis. I feel like he was the pick a long time ago whenever I started doing my mocks, and I think he's going to be the pick now. Will Levis.
And Peyton Manning has endorsed Will Levis, and Jim Irsay values Peyton Manning's opinion very, very much highly so. Huncho, do you agree with Jeremy that if it was between Hooker, Stroud, Levis, and Richardson, the Colts would go nab Will Levis? And if so, do you think that would be the right move?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the organization and just looking at everything. I'm with Jeremy 100%. I agree with Levis being there, and he's coming. Last year, you got to look at it. The man, he was hurt. And
we might have lost Hunch for his.
am I back?
Yeah, you're good now, Hunch.
You're back. We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he was hurt. I think he had hurt his toe or something, and then he really wasn't mobile. So it kind of hindered him last year. He was kind of banged up. So I expect for him, if he comes back 100%, definitely if I'm sitting at that Colts spot, you'll be a fool not to get Levis. I mean, Stroud's nice, and if in that order, I would put Levis, Stroud, Richardson, and then I'll take Hooker last in that order, But definitely, I believe Levis is definitely the pick there if the Colts want to stay.
Now, let me throw a wrench into your guys' plans, and what kind of a podcast would it be if we all held hands and agreed and smiled with each other, right? So I'm gonna play the heel here like I normally do. I'm gonna go a little heel mode. And Cleveland Me says, thanks, fam. Knew you guys were real ones. I think he was talking to you too because he's a Will Levis guy. He wants Colts to go with the guy like Will Levis. When I look at everything that the Colts have done this offseason, it makes me think that they're preparing for the arrival of one Anthony Richardson. I think they're preparing for the arrival of Anthony Richardson. And let me explain that for a couple of reasons. A, I think they went with Steichen. I think they went with their guy for a reason. I think that Steichen is familiar with scrambling quarterbacks as a Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Colts looked at that and said, okay, this guy could build a quarterback. And I think Jim Irsay, instead not going the Frank Reich approach, where Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard and Frank Reich traded for all the veterans. They traded for Matt Ryan. They traded for Phillip Rivers. They traded for Carson Wentz. They traded for Jacoby Brissett. None of that really worked out, and it seemed like Frank Reich, outside of Carson Wentz, potentially didn't have much say in that. I think the Colts say, "Hey, Steichen, we want your output, we want your input, we want your opinion, we want to hear what you got to say." So Steichen's looking at this. He sees he has Jonathan Taylor. He sees he should have an improved offensive line. I don't think they could get worse from last year. He sees that he has Gardner Minshew as a backup quarterback. He kind of built, a little bit of an approach of a Philly type backfield over there. And I think Taylor's obviously an improvement over Miles Sanders and whatnot. But I think that they like Anthony Richardson to kind of be their Jalen Hurts type. Then they got a Gardner Minshew type, just in case Richardson needs a little development, just in case he can't start right away, just in case familiarity is needed. And I think that the Colts have done a really nice job of blowing smoke and saying, "Hey, Jim Irsay opened his yap about 8 weeks ago, 6 to 8 weeks ago, and said, 'Hey, we really like C.J. Stroud. I think this kid's really great.'" Now you got Peyton Manning doing the same thing with Will Levis, and we're not sure if the Colts have orchestrated any of that. But what I do know is this: with the NFL draft here, a lot of smoke screens are here, a lot of fabrication talks are happening. Until tomorrow happens, we really are just throwing arrows at a board and hoping they stick. But I don't know. My guess tells me that the Colts have been trying to tiptoe and deceive a lot of people with a lot of their chatter about Stroud and Levis. I could be way wrong, and they could value both of those guys a lot more high than they do Anthony Richardson. But to me, they kind of built their offense for Richardson, and they haven't really mentioned Richardson much, which kind of throws a red flag up for me that they might like him more. We'll see though. And Cleveland me says, "Sorry, meant new guy Jeremy, but yes, what up to Huncho? Miss you, brother." So Jeremy getting some love and Huncho getting some love. I guess I'm chopped liver. I guess I don't get anything over here. So anyways, fellas, we're going to be getting into the crux of it now. We got our Colts question answered. Now we're going to be getting into the Bucs side of things. Jeremy, you said you have your mock draft ready for the Bucs. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, Huncho and myself and Stunna, we all gave our mock drafts this past weekend live on the Buccaneers. So before we team build our collective mock draft, I want to hear the draft of Jeremy J-Lo, the great J-Lo, lifelong Buck fan and listener of the shows, who's been joining us, and it's been fun. Jeremy, what say you? What's your mock draft for our Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking like? And Mike's just in time. Mike's joining us on Facebook, our right-hand man. We love you, Mike. He's right in time for J-Lo's mock draft. So, Jeremy, let's hear it, brother. Whenever you're ready, without further ado, let's get your Buccaneers 2023 NFL mock draft.
First and foremost, thank you for having me, Honcho. Thank you for listening. I can't wait. Like I said, don't judge. But at the end of the day, this is what I feel. I feel like we
Good,
need
bro.
draft picks. I feel like we need draft picks. So I did a couple trade downs to the 30th pick, and we took Dewan Jones, right tackle, Ohio State. Big man, you plug him in, you move him to the left, and I feel like that will solidify our offensive line. Let Luke Gedeke prove himself, battling out at right guard with Robert Hainsey. I feel the veteran we brought in from Chargers, I think he'll take the left guard over Nick Leverett, not to pick on him, but that's me. And then with the 50th pick,
And real quick, I love that DeJuan Jones pick because when we were doing our mock draft on Braves Country radio show, I appear on every Monday and Friday from 3 to 5 Eastern in Atlanta, Georgia, noon in Georgia. You could catch us on 99.1 The Key, WQEE out there. But we did a first round mock, and I mocked DeJuan Jones. We weren't doing trades or anything like that, so I couldn't trade back in that mock. But I did mock DeJuan Jones to the Bucs at pick number 19. For a lot of the reasons what you said. I think that'd be a home run pick, especially if you trade back, get him at 30 and all that value with it. I think that could be a home run, Jeremy. Now keep going. Sorry about that.
no, that's all good. No, I just feel like I stuck up on a couple of third round picks, trading down a couple times between the Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles. So with that being said, the 50 pick will take Sidney Brown. I love that kid. That kid is versatile. He's a ball hawk. To me, he is another Antoine Winfield Jr. 2.0. You can plug him at a nickel. You can put him at safety. And let me tell you something. The kid hits. His missed tackle, he's got to work on. But I'm telling you, when he hits, he's like Jordan Whitehead. That man lays the wood. I love that kid. I feel like we got to take him at 50 and he'll fit perfect rotating, with Winfrey Jr. and Ryan Neal. And
Yeah,
then,
and I think Huncho, you mocked Sidney Brown to the Bucs at that pick
In the
when
second
we went
round.
over yours on Saturday, right?
Right. I had him coming to us in the second round. I did also the same thing. I traded back for extra picks, and I took Sidney Brown, but I traded completely out the first round and still was able to get him.
I'm telling you, my bad, Hunter, go ahead.
Nah, I'm with you 100% on that pick. Yeah, that definitely. I wouldn't be mad at all if they chose to do that also at 30, but hopefully because I don't want to go to the next round. But yeah, just at 30, I'll be fine with that. I'll be fine with him. To pair him with you pair him with Antoine Winfield and the guy from Seattle. His name keeps slipping my mind.
Ryan Neal.
Ryan Neal. If you pair them, you solidify that spot right there. You solidify the back end, after losing Mike Edwards and you know what I'm saying, and Sean Murphy Button, he played the box, the slot a little bit, and just to have those two guys come in and just put him in that, I put him right in that nickel position right there, and he definitely is a plug and play guy.
Amen, brother. Amen. We gotta be stuck at safety, man. Because we don't
Right.
know if Logan Ryan's gonna come back or not. We don't know.
Right.
I like Tim
Todd
Scott,
loves the safeties.
especially when he came back healthy. Edwards is gone, Neal's gone. She bring out Sidney Brown who you can utilize in the defense. And Bowles loves utilizing safety that corner like Nichols. So I'll
Right.
take it.
Yeah, if you could get your right tackle in the round one, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you get your right tackle right there at 30, and then you could jump in at 50 still and grab him, the same thing. That is all. Like that's you showing up both sides of the ball right there.
Yes, sir. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like
Sir.
you get your right tackle, who's big, lengthy. He might be a little rusty the first couple of games, but I'm telling you, this guy is big. We need a big guy in there who's going to take and shove and pancake a defensive end.
Right.
Can't stand it. Can't wait. If that happens, of course.
Let's hear what you got going next. So far, I love it. We got DeJuan Jones and Sidney Brown in the first two picks of Jeremy's mock draft. What are you looking like for our third pick for the Buccaneers, Jeremy?
So with the three rounders I pulled off with those trade downs, the 82nd pick I took Sam Laporta at tight end. We had two tight end set. You pair him up with K-Dot. He may not fall, but if he does, you take him. The guy
I like
can make plays. He can block pretty well, and you give
fast.
Exactly. You get Canellis a two tight end set, and that's all you need. You give him that and create confusion. And that's the beauty part about Baker Mayfield being a target, if he create a run play. I mean, I like the kid a lot at Iowa. And you can't go wrong with Iowa tight ends. You can't go wrong.
We could sit here all day and name the Iowa tight ends, right? Scott Chandler, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant. I mean, Dallas Clark, I would love that pick for the Bucs. I think it'd be a home run.
Yeah, I mean, if he falls, take it. You got to take advantage of it. And
yeah, definitely. If Laporta's there.
Well, no, he's ideal. He's that dude, man. Don't sleep on him. He might go second round, but if he falls to 3, it's a blessing.
But definitely, if you can get him in the third round, if you definitely get Laporta. I'm sorry. I was just saying, if you could get Laporta at 3, in that round there, that pick, I had him. Like, I didn't mock him to us, but I also had him, and I was doing my research, and I was looking at him, and he's a very athletic, fast, tight end, good blocker. And I wish, honestly, if he was here, I wish if he was here like last year, he would have been amazing. I feel like in this offense with Brady, I think Brady would have utilized him pretty, really, really good.
Yes, I'm telling you. I mean, the guy that home run hit him the third round. I mean, that's a steal to me. I think he's going to go in the second, but if he falls to third, take him. That's just me.
Right. I'm with you on that pick too.
Amen.
I agree with that one, and I actually had in my mock, I had the Bucks taking Laporta as well.
See, you falling behind the great tones, man. You can't go wrong, man.
No. I try to, I listen and learn. Trust me. Between him, P Report, hey, listen.
Right.
But
Huncho, keep going though, Jeremy. We're just having fun here, and it's
oh
cool
yeah,
because
no, I'm
we
good, man.
we love this. Jeremy's already mocked 2 of Huncho and Mide's pick.
Right. He fit right in.
So Jeremy, you're doing great, brother. Or actually, you've mocked it all because in one of my mocks I had us taking DeJuan Jones, and then Huncho had us taking Sidney Brown, and then I had us taking Laporta. So you're hitting home runs, brother. Let's hear your next one.
So with the 85th overall, with one of the trade downs I did, I took Dewan Henley, linebacker, Washington State, because with the issues going with Devin White, and then there's no guarantee that Levante Davis can be back next year. So I figured, you know what, F it, trade down. You get your linebacker that he can learn behind 2 great linebackers. Keyword 2 great linebackers, because Devin White has promise. He's just going through his little phase right now at his age. But you get that guy, you already got your linebacker sitting in the system for 1 year, and either Levante retires, goes to another team. At least you get your linebacker ready to go, because this kid can play. He's pretty good at coverage, pretty good in the blitz. I mean, he is a guy you want to experiment on. And I feel like he was available. You know what? With 3 third rounders, take a chance. Get him a linebacker. Because I feel like Devin White's not going anywhere. He's going to play his 5th-year option. Either he'll be great, which I pray, because I love Devin White. Hopefully he'll get over this phase. But at least we got a linebacker for plan B if things go south between Devin White and Levante Davis. We got our 1 linebacker ready to go. That's
I
why
agree with that. I had us getting one eventually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check in here on my mock. I did. I didn't have a. I was thinking about. I was either between later in the draft. I drafted an interior lineman instead of a linebacker. I was in between those 2 at that point in time. But I think a linebacker is a great pick as well. I mean, when you're doing a mock, there's only so many picks you can make. So I think linebacker's a good one though for you, Jeremy. And as Huncho sounds like he's having a good time wherever he might be.
Yeah, I'm
He's
just
a bizarre,
relaxing.
man. I love it.
I'm
I
just
love it
relaxing.
as well. It's adding some energy here. Jeremy, what's your next pick after the
What's up,
linebacker?
JC?
And then, so with the 94th overall pick, the last 3rd rounder I got in the trade with Philadelphia, I took Jatavius Martin. He goes by Quan Martin, I believe. And there's your nickel or safety. Even though we got Sidney Brown, but you get Quan Martin who can play the nickel right away, and you can utilize Sidney Brown as a substitution. Because we go through injuries the last 2 years between our corners going down. God forbid, Anton Winfield with his concussions going down. So I figured, you know what? Quan Martin's right there. Take him for the taking. You put him at nickel and pray and hope that our 2 outside corners stay healthy. You keep Anton Winfield at safety. And then you got Sidney Brown ready to come in, alternate, switch in and out with Ryan Neal and Anton Winfield Jr. So I had to go with Quan Martin. He was available for the taking. The Bucs love him. They brought him in for a visit with him and his twin brother um, from Illinois. So he was there. I said, easy picking. Why not take another DB? Because you never know when we're going out with injuries. Because I came in the last time where Carlton Davis and Dean played a full season healthy since 2020.
And as Huncho alluded to earlier as well, Bowles does love him some safeties, and the Bucs often like the depth at the safety position a lot as well. So I think that would be a good pick.
Yeah, that's great picks, and he covering a lot of positions of need, and he thinking ahead. I also said the same thing about Devin White also the other day on the show. I said that, yeah, you got to prepare for him to leave or stay for next year, and we're not sure if Levante is going to be re-signed, so why not have somebody here that we groom and get acclimated to the system now, so next year they won't be running around, trying to catch up.
Amen. I
Fit
like
right in, man. I like this guy, Tones. I like this guy a lot, man.
He's a good one, man. Jeremy's a cool ass dude, and
I'm trying, man. Hey, rocking the Rays, go Bulls. But hey, we're talking football tonight, brother.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
all right, Jeremy, you got a lot of love on your picks, Jeremy. Let's hear what's next, brother.
Yeah, my bad. No, hold on, guys. Oh, there we go. So the Nets pick.
No, you good,
153.
man. We love it, man. If we had to hop off, we'd be off by now. But here we are. So
So with the 153 pick, I took Rashawn Johnson, running back out of Texas. He was available. He could be a quality back competing with Keyshawn Vaughn to push him to back up Rashad White. You know, I'm not saying Keyshawn Vaughn's horrible because he's showing flashes, but why not add more competition at running back? And he was pretty productive at Texas, but of course he's behind Bijan Robinson, who you're not going to bench in college if you're a Texas fan. So I brought another quality back to help push, the depth room. And at least we got 4 quality backs that can stay healthy instead of just 3.
I like that, and I think that would be a very, very solid pick there. And let's hear the closeout of your draft. If you want to just rattle them off and then give a reason after each one, and then we'll get into the team build draft and then give our one big thing and walk off.
Gotcha. So I'll finish the rest of my draft. 175 up to Yaya Debate at edge. I know we're missing on the edge.
Stunna had him in his mock draft. Stunna can't join us tonight, but Stunna, our other co-host, had him as well. So that's another pick that you clicked on.
Well, Scott Reynolds and Peter Report took me on to him. Great depth. I feel like he will provide great depth, whether Shaq Barrett's healthy to come back or not. And then I took 179 to Dante Stills, more depth at D tackle to kind of help Vita Vea the D line out. Because I feel like Wayne Golson's going to come back on a cheap deal. So that's great depth on the D line. Then 181, I took Clayton Tune at quarterback because he could be a quality backup or even maybe a starter depending how Canales bringing these quarterbacks up. So he provided great stats in Houston. I like the kid a lot. I feel like he could be a good backup, a third string for now, and develop like Kyle Trask did. 186, I took Martin Mapu, who was from Sacramento State. Another Peter Report got me really liking a lot. He could play safety, linebacker, anyone on the field. To me, I think he'll be a safety, so more depth at safety. And then with the final pick at 252, I took Valami Fehoko from San Diego State. He was available, which he might go sooner. He put the stats up at San Diego State, over 10-digit stats his final year. So I went with him to add with edge with Yaya Debate. I feel like Shaq's going to be back. Maybe not put the numbers, but he'll be there, ready to play. So that's pretty much my draft, fellas. I feel like it's a home run. Hopefully it goes well.
Good shit.
Hey, for all reasons, go Bucs, man. Whoever this nice kid that put in his hands. That's why I'm hoping he goes good, but not. Hey, I'll take anybody at this point.
I ain't gonna even lie. I'm gonna tell you, Jeremy. No shade to my brother Stunner, but shit, yours. Hey, Stunner might have to step because Jeremy mock draft is pretty good. Also, you know what I'm saying? You fit right in. I like every pick down, and you covered a lot of areas. I mean, Stunner wasn't there to, go through verbally his every single pick that he went through, because I'm pretty sure he would have went really in depth with it. But
I appreciate
every
that,
pick, yeah, I'm with you on the picks, and I wouldn't be mad if we came out the draft with those guys that you chose.
I appreciate that, man. I'm just a fan, man. I love my team, and I feel that'd be the best fit, man. I learned from Peter Report, Tones here. I mean, they all teach me everything I need to know, man.
Almost definitely. Tones is my guy. Tones, hey, listen. That's my go-to guy. I mean, he's hard to read sometimes, but when he does come through, he comes through.
Hey, he's a wrestling fan too, man. That's another reason I love him too, man. He loves that wrestling. I gotta give him props, man. Hey, good dude, man. Love you, Tones. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to come in and spread what I had to say.
I love you gents too, and that's why you guys are always welcomed onto the pod, and that's why you guys are some of my right-hand men in the industry in terms of just talking Bucs ball, having a good time talking Bucs ball. Huncho, I make myself more available, man. I promise I'm gonna get better at communicating. What happened?
I say, boy, trying to get in touch with Tone sometimes is like trying to get in touch with the president, man.
J-Lo
Hey,
knows based off our Instagram convos already that I go MIA sometimes, you know.
Yeah, it's
hey,
all
he's
good. He
enjoying
come
life,
through when I
man.
need him. He come through when I need him, man. And yeah, I definitely gotta add you on Instagram. I'm gonna chop it up with you. I'm gonna add you on Instagram also, Jeremy.
Yeah, have
Real
me on,
quick
man.
here, real quick here, fellas, and Jeremy, go. You could say your Instagram here shortly for the fans listening, and then we'll get into our team build and head out of here. I know we kept people a little longer, which I do appreciate.
JLo 1990 all day. That's my Instagram, and add me, bro. I'm all about the Bucks, Rays, Lightning. I like MMA. I like wrestling. You know, add me. I'll be happy to talk football with you. You may not agree with everything I had to say, but hey, we're all fans here. We all have our opinions. I don't go judging. You know, people are gonna make their picks. At the end of the day, when it comes to what our teams do, but I'm one of those fans, you know, that love my team, and I live and learn every day. You know,
Oh.
I think too when I was covering the draft, is Huncho's got some fun going on. When I was covering the draft for Time Skew, I used to do draft coverage for a site called Time Skew, and we were a pretty big site. We were growing. Then one day he pretty much just devoted to Ultimate Frisbee. But that's how I dipped into the game. That's how I actually got to interview Cowboys quarterback Ben DiNucci, Bucs offensive lineman Nick Leverett, Bucs safety Javon Hagan, Bucs wide receiver Josh Pearson, the likes of all of them through Time Skew. And I actually did an official mock draft myself there. I did an entire first round of mocking. And I found out one thing. No matter how much time, effort, resources, study you put into this thing, you're throwing darts at the board, fellas. I went top to bottom. I interviewed 100 draft prospects myself. I was on every website possible. I was talking to reporters. I think I got eight or nine out of the 32 right. I know I didn't get more than 13 out of the 32 right. So at the end of the day, it's pretty damn hard to get a good success rate on these things, even in the first round. That's why I think a lot of people are just ready for the NFL draft to get here.
it's the best season of the year, man. During the off season, you gotta love the draft between the free agency, draft. I mean, so much controversy during the draft, man. I never get it right, but hey, I love watching it. I love watching these young men playing hard throughout their whole life, through high school, college, working the way to get drafted. It's a beautiful thing, man. Talking to say about that. It's one of my favorite events of the year. I love it.
And Jeremy, I agree with you so much. And I know I keep mentioning it, but from my time with Time Skew, when I interviewed a lot of these guys, it made me realize, like, because that was during COVID, right? So a lot of things were different, and it kind of gave me the opportunity to talk to a lot of these guys because a lot of them, at smaller schools especially, they had a hard time getting their names out there, their voices heard. So you never know if Ben DiNucci got drafted by the Cowboys. Maybe they did watch his YouTube video with us. But what I learned from these YouTube videos with these kids, how much time they put in, how much effort they put in, even if you do go undrafted, don't give up because Carl, all these guys, Nick Leverett, Super Bowl champ with the Bucs, now he's competing for an offensive line spot, undrafted. Austin Eckler, undrafted. You look around the NFL at some of the bigger names in the league, undrafted. Marquise Colston, one point in time, undrafted. I mean, the list goes on, and you could sit here and look around and say, oh, I didn't get drafted. But keep your head up, gentlemen. Just because you don't get drafted doesn't mean your story ends there in the
No.
NFL. Now, it's time for our almighty team build, fellas. We're going to do all the Buccaneers picks, round 1 through 7, and pretty much how this is going
Do
to
it.
work. We're going to go around. We're going to start with Huncho for the first round pick. We're going to go to Jeremy for the second round pick. Then we're going to go to me for the third round pick, and we're going to keep circling until we're done with our entire draft. But pretty much all I'm asking you is to make a realistic selection when your spot comes up. So, I'm not saying, hey, Huncho, you get the first round pick.
Pick
I'm not
whoever you
going to.
want. I want Anthony Richardson. I just go anywhere I
Hey,
want with it. I got you.
I like this guy. Okay.
just, just go with your gut. Go with who you think is possible and realistic is, it can be at least. So, Huncho, we'll start with you. What would be your first round pick of the official Buccaneers mock draft at pick 19?
Pick 19s, guys. I'm going to make training camp real interesting, guys, because I'm not going to have one quarterback competition. Two guys. I'm going to make this a three quarterback competition. So I will be picking Will Levis out of Kentucky.
Will Levis is Huncho's first pick of the Buccaneers draft. Jeremy, you get the second pick. Obviously, quarterback no longer a need. Just say we're drafted 50th overall. Just give a realistic option or a name you might like. Who do you got the Bucs taking at pick 19 in the second round, 50th overall?
With the second round, I had to go with Felix. I can't pronounce his last name, but
The dude,
Azama.
the edge, right?
Yeah, the edge from Kansas State. If he falls, that's who I pick, or not Derek Carr, one of the two. You got to go edge with the second round because obviously the tackles are gone after the first round to hit third round. So I got to go edge, provide some more depth. Even though I like Anthony Nelson a lot, I feel like he's going to definitely earn his money. That's season. That's a shot Barrett. He's a gamer, man. I love his attitude. I think he's going to go in there and hopefully wreak havoc, man. Get to the quarterback. But I
I'm
have to
sorry,
go
what
with.
pick that was?
I told Felix from defensive end from Kansas State. He's got the two last name. I can never pronounce the first one, but Azama,
I know
defensive
exactly.
end, 6'3". I feel like he brings good depth, and he'll definitely help out if Shaq Barrett's not ready. And you go with JTS and Anthony Nelson to start the season. That's why I'll go for the second round pick.
And I'm just gathering his name now so I could put it in the chat and spell it appropriately. It's it's a bar burner. So whatever team,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put FAU. I'm gonna put FAU out of Kansas
but
State
the
for that pick.
but but the kid's talented. He may not be there, so if he's not there, you gotta go with Derek Hall. I know for a fact he'll be there with the next pick from Auburn. That's someone that Josh Allen got me really hooked to when he brought his name up to me over the last couple of months. So by like the kid from Kansas State, I feel like he'd be a good depth, maybe even push JTS.
I like that as well, and I think that would be a tremendous second round pick if we could make it a possibility, if we could make it happen. That leaves me with the third pick of this Buccaneers draft, and you're looking around, and it's hard to tell who might be there, who might not be there, as it is draft day, and these teams are unpredictable. And I think we need an offensive lineman here. So I'm hoping, I'm going to speculate, and it might not be likely, but I'm going to go with Cody Mauch in the third round from North Dakota. I don't think he lasts that long, but if he does, I think that would be a perfect Jason Light pick. I think he has a nasty to him. Cody Mauch from North Dakota State. He's mocked to go in the middle of the second to the late second right now. So you never know if he does fall to the third. The Bucs might be able to pounce on him, but he brings a nasty. He's missing two teeth. The sick son of a bitch is missing two teeth from an incident he got in when he was younger in his life, and he just said, "Hey, I don't even feel like replacing those teeth."
Yeah,
So
he
he did
gotta
it.
be a dog.
Now,
He's definitely a dog. Missing
now,
two teeth,
now,
it's crazy.
not to cut you off, Tones, but do you feel like he'd be a tackle or a guard? That's my next question with that guy because I heard they list him as a guard. So that's the reason why I'm asking.
Yeah, and that's a great pick for the Bucs, and he could be tackle or guard as he's listed as both. I think we would try and use him as a guard. I think Luke Godecki would get the first crack at right tackle. We would move Wirfs to left tackle in that scenario. And
My
I
man.
think Jensen would obviously be center. Then I think Mauch would be one of the guards. And I think the other guard spot, well, I think it'd be open competition, right, between Mauch, Leverett, Hainsey, and those guys.
No, I like it. I was just wondering how that worked because Luka Decky had a good shot playing right tackle. He did pretty decent against Atlanta. And that's another thing fans keep failing to realize. If we don't go tackle and we go the other route between Bijan Robinson or whoever's available, you know what? That's the backup plan. Remember, we took Luka Deck in the second round last year. We traded up to get him. So you know he's going to start somewhere else, right guard or right tackle. Just thought I'd throw it out there. But sorry.
No, absolutely. And he, like you said, he filled in against Atlanta and looked pretty good in doing so last season to close out the year. So far we got Will Levis, quarterback, out at Kentucky. We got FAU. We're going with Mr. Felix the Edge from Kansas State and Cody Mock, the offensive lineman from North Dakota State. Huncho, that leaves you. Do you want to go with one of the picks from your mock, or do you have a guy in mind for the Buccaneers' fourth pick of the draft, which it happens to actually be in round 5?
Fourth pick.
153.
What number is that?
153.
That would, yep, 153. If Huncho went out a minute here, pick 153. Let me look at my mock.
You can hear me?
Yep, we could hear you now, brother.
I took another defensive lineman. You could go with the one I got on board. I think it's Byron Young. I believe his name is
Alabama.
Yeah.
D lineman,
Yep.
right?
Fuck it. Let's boot up the line. Let's soup up the trenches.
I like that pick a lot too, and we need it. I mean, I know we've signed Greg Gaines, but we've lost Golston, we've lost Hicks, and I know we brought back Adrian Sanat, but outside of Via Veda, Greg Gaines, you know, this is a line that lacks some names. So I think if we got Byron Young out of Alabama, D lineman in the 5th round or 4th pick, I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good value.
I definitely agree.
Jeremy, you're next, and I think it's another round 5 on the clock.
So that being said, so I took Felix from Kansas State. I think I'm going to go with Anthony Johnson at safety from Iowa State. I think he falls a little bit to that stage. He can play safety. Corner, I'm not too familiar with, but it provides more safety depth with him from Iowa State. That'd be my next pick since I took the kid from Kansas State with the edge.
And I would like that, building defense then. So not too bad there at all, Anthony Johnson. So far we got Will Levis, FAU, Cody Mock, Byron Young, Anthony Johnson. So we're building offense and defense here on the Buccaneers in our mock. We got a couple more picks, then we're making our draft. One big thing and walk-off comments. We promise we'll bounce you guys out of here soon. That leaves me with round 6, pick 2, 179 overall. And I'm going to go with the tight end here. I think that we could use another tight end, and if we haven't drafted one yet, I think that it's going to be coming sooner than later. So I'm going with the tight end out of Michigan, Luke Schoonmaker. I think that he'd be a pretty good one. A tight end out of the Big Ten is always something to, throw an idea at, as we see Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa all produce good tight ends in the NFL. So why not? We'll go with Luke Schoonmaker, tight end out of Michigan with the next pick. I appreciate that. I hope so. I think that would be a good one. That leaves Huncho with the next pick if he's with
161?
us.
181.
181. Yep, 181.
So this is the 6th round, I believe?
Correct.
181. I'm going to stick to my draft again and get the speedy receiver out of Purdue, Charlie Jones. He reminds me of that the guy who we had, but with Jameis, the guy that he used to go to all the time.
Adam Humphries.
Adam Humphrey. He give you that Adam Humphries, Cole Beasley type guy right there. If you go, I'm telling you guys, go look up Charlie Jones. After this, go look up Charlie Jones, please. The wide receiver out of Purdue. I'm gonna stick with him.
I think that's a really good pick too.
No,
right, and that's a good wide receiver depth. Yeah, good wide receiver depth. I'm listening.
We need that 4th receiver, definitely. I like that pick a lot, actually.
So that finishes it off for Huncho's picks. Now let's go to Jeremy's last pick as he gets pick number 196 overall in round 6. So far we have drafted Will Levis in round 1, edge rusher Felix FAU from Kansas State in round 2, Cody Mock, offensive lineman from NDSU in round 3, Byron Young, Alabama defensive lineman in round 5, Anthony Johnson, safety from Iowa in round 5, Luke Schoonmaker, Michigan tight end in round 6, and Charlie Jones, Purdue wide receiver, round 6, which leaves the Bucs with 2 picks left, 196 and 252 overall. What say you, Jeremy?
I'm gonna go with another Jones. I'm gonna go with Cam Jones, linebacker, Indiana. I feel like he's a special teams guy at first. I think he's better than Britt and the linebacker we have on the roster. So he'd be a guy I think that Todd Bowles can develop if he keeps his job. So Cam Jones would be my next pick. Indiana. As I watch Peter report, Scott Reynolds put it out there that he really likes his kid, and I'll follow Scott Reynolds anywhere. That man knows his football.
He does. And one thing I will say to most people watching this, again, this is if we didn't do any trades. This is if the Bucs stayed put with every pick. We're not moving around. We're not swapping around. We didn't want to get too fancy or too complicated. So I think that it's been a pretty good mock overall. And odds are we won't use all 3 of our 6-round picks. We'll probably find a way to package 1 in a trade or package 2 in a trade and turn it into a 5th or maybe move back, whatever the case can be. But I think this is a very realistic mock. And my last pick for the Bucs in this mock draft would be round 7, pick 35, 252nd overall, and that's a comp pick. I'm going with the running back. I think that they're going to throw a running back into the room, and I'm going with Isaiah Bowser, running back from Central Florida. The Bucs brought him in on a pre-draft visit. He's a kid who's familiar with the area, playing less than an hour away in Orlando, and it gives some young blood to the running back group.
Good job, Tom.
Good closing out, definitely.
Good. I was just screaming and making hand gestures that we didn't go running back yet, and you just closed it out with a running back. So, good shit. Always.
And I did that in my mock as well because to me, if the Bucs draft Bijan Robinson, I won't be that mad. I'm not a huge running back in round 1 guy. I'm not an advocate for running backs in round 1 for multiple reasons. So if we don't draft one in round 1, I surely want one in day 3. I think we should wait till day 3 at that point. I think it should either be round 1 or day 3. I don't think it should be in between because that's what we just did with Rashad White and Keyshawn Vaughn, right? So,
Tones, is that the Doug Martin curse?
Yeah, it could be the muscle hamster, the curse of the mini man from Boise State. And we actually traded back into the first round to get Doug Martin that year. I remember we were just
Mark Barron and Doug Martin first round.
Whoa, yeah.
What a doozy of a first round. But I remember just sitting there and hearing the Bucs are on the clock, and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's going on here?
I mean, you had to come get Doug was a good guy. I ain't gonna lie. His first year, his first game, I remember like it was yesterday. He came, he hit that side, and then he was supposed to get tackled, and then he did something, and he's did put his hand in the ground and spent and got some more. I was like, yeah, this is the guy of the future.
And straight up, when we traded back up, my bad. Let me cut you off.
No, you're good, Jeremy. Go ahead, brother.
I think the last time we traded back up in the first round, we took 2 first-round picks was Mark Aaron and Doug Martin. And I remember
that's Mark Dominant?
Yeah, Mark Dominant. And I remember I said, Doug Martin, who's Doug Martin? I looked up his headbus. Oh, that's Doug Martin. Hey, I'm like, props to Mark Dominant. I mean, he made some moves as a GM. Maybe one of the best GM, but man, he made some moves. But when
he was all in.
I thought for sure Doug Martin was going to be the real deal until
you know what happened.
He went through some trouble. Yep.
He got on that. He got on some drugs, and that'll do it.
And he was such a beast, man.
Josh Freeman and Doug Martin both ended abruptly. You know, I mean, those two guys had a lot of promise in Tampa, Josh Freeman and Doug Martin, and you have to wonder what the hell got them
Mike
off the
Williams
field.
too.
Mike Williams as well. And Mike Williams, I don't think he actually, got in trouble with drugs and stuff. I think
Nah,
his
he was just partying.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was literally a party animal,
Just like Raheem Morris.
Yeah, Raheem the
Don't get me
Dream.
started. Raheem Morris.
But we could go on and on.
Nah,
We had a lot of
Played
guys, whether it's been partying or whether it's just been flopping, that have become bust in the area. Speaking of bust in the area, we've been busting our ass for an hour and 13 minutes now, gentlemen. I don't know if you fellas realize that, but it's time to wind down here and bounce out. So we're going to go around and give our final thoughts on night 1 and night 2 of the draft, because we will be coming with you guys on day 3 live a little bit from the Buccaneers. So I just want to hear one thought. What's your guys' one big thing, and what's your guys' one big walk-off as we head out of here, heading into tomorrow for the 2023 NFL Draft? It could be about any team, could be about the Bucs, could be about any pick. Jeremy, we'll start with you, my friend. Thanks again so much for joining us this evening. What's your one last walk-off that you got for our draft show?
My walk-off is when I get the quarterback. They're going to fall to our pick. They're not. I'm telling you, they're not. I think we'll either get an alignment, whether it's Darnell Wright or Anton Harrison. But Bijan Robinson's there at 19. That's our pick. I feel like he's a home run hitter. I love Rashad White. But why not have two bad Bijan Robinson and Rashad White? And we can always get our tackle later on in the 3rd round, because there's one from Syracuse I really like.
Right. I'm with you with that. Except for the quarterback, saying the quarterback, because I honestly feel like just like Jeremy, real shit, Jeremy.
No, tell me.
For real, just like if you got a quarterback, because I honestly, like, I know I've been saying Will Levis, like if you have one of those quarterbacks that you honestly can see in the future leading this team to the playoffs and making the Super Bowl, you just need to tweak it, and it seems when these guys get in the NFL, they get acclimated and they get better as they go. Like Josh Allen, when he came in the league, everybody was, he looked as shitty his first couple of years or whatever, but when the ball went to rolling, man, look at him, man. You understand, like, these guys get the rolling, and it's a different ball game. Look at Jalen Hurts, his first couple of years, it was shit, and he went to rolling. So if you can't get in the guy, like, if we're gonna roll with Baker, okay, that's what it is. But if you could get, I think, me personally, I want my true right-handed guy. If we can somehow not get a quarterback this year, and then next year can move up and get your guy out of USC.
Caleb Williams.
Yes, I mean, that'll make my dreams come true. I'll be happy with that. But if we're speaking in the now, because I don't see us being that bad where we can pick him at 1 next year. So I honestly just feel like, unless we do something like the Panthers did, and I don't feel like we need to trade Chris Godwin over Mike Evans, because that's going to be in the fold if we go that high up. You understand? So right now, see, even the dog agrees with me. At this time, I honestly say if we're going to get a quarterback, it has to be somebody that you honestly feel like you can build your team around, even if they have to sit 1 year and sit right. Like, you don't want your number 1 pick to actually sit. Of course, you want them to plug and play, like I said. But if you can sit here while you have 2 quarterbacks competing, if he goes in the training camp and he competes with those guys, and honestly, he could beat them out fairly without just putting his draft stock on him. If you could just put him in and he wins the job like that, then yeah, I say let him play. But let him sit here, get acclimated to the game, put him in a couple games, preseason, see what he got. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think Trask is the guy. You can see the GM, they don't have faith in him. The coaches didn't have faith in him. If you felt like they really honestly had faith in Trask, then he would be playing instead of Blaine Gabbert in those critical moments. You could have seen what he got. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have faith in him. And they went and got Baker. That shows you how much faith. And I don't see Baker getting beat out by Kyle Trask. I'm sorry. I'm not going for that. So we got to have another quarterback to actually come in and compete and see. Because I don't want to be in this situation next year where we're trying to find another quarterback to see who's going to be our franchise.
So let me ask you this. Did you bring a quarterback? I didn't mean to interrupt you. If
Go
you had to
ahead. You
pick
go.
between, if you had to pick between Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, who would you pick?
To be honest, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be straight up with you. With Anthony Richardson, I really haven't did too much homework on, and
I love him.
I know
Okay,
Levis Richardson is from Florida, right?
he's actually from Gainesville. He's a local Gainesville
Oh, so but
homegrown
he's a I
kid.
know Tones. I know Tones. I know. I'm just
Tonto's I'm a
trying to get it
Gator
off.
fan too, so he knows. So yeah, I like it. Go
Okay.
ahead, keep going.
Okay. So yeah, but I'm not sure about Richardson, so I can't even give you an honest annihilation. Look about how he really is, but I just know what Will Levis can, and I just feel like I just see Josh Allen and him mixed with a little bit of Taysom Hill. Don't take it personal, Bucs fans. I know he's a Saints player, but you know what I'm saying. And and that's what I'm gonna leave it. I know Tones, you direct this show. You go ahead, do your thing, Tones. That's all I had to say.
Hey, I
I
was letting
appreciate
you
my side.
guys. I was letting you guys have your good discussion. I think I was getting an enjoyment out of that. I think it was a good back and forth. Jeremy, any closing thoughts on what Huncho just said as we wrap up the show?
I like his prediction on bringing a quarterback to learn that 1 year. But the only reason why I doubt that is because Bowles is pushing for his job. I just don't see him
Right.
taking a quarterback in that first round. I feel like he's definitely going to go with a playmaker.
Defense.
If it's BJ Robinson,
Yeah.
if it's BJ Robinson, which I don't think it's going to be, I feel like Philadelphia's going to take him at 10. They'd be a fool if they don't.
Yeah.
But I feel like you gotta go tackle. You gotta protect your quarterback. Why not get a Darnell White or Anton Harrison? If you can trade down even more, it would be fantastic. So I'll end it with saying that it's gonna be a fun 3 days, gentlemen. Whether we get a tackle, running back, wherever we go. If it's a quarterback, hey, by all means, whatever. I'll support it. I didn't like Jameis, but I support it because I love my team.
Hey. Can't say that too loud, guys. Yeah, you know these James guys.
I know.
They're gonna come from behind your Bucks flag, man. You better be quiet, man. You can't.
Yeah, they're gonna be coming from
Yeah.
behind the Bucs flag, coming from all over the place.
They like Candyman. You say his name 3 times and they coming out of the cut, man. For real.
Hey, they're everywhere. Every Bucs fans get their opinion. I get it, but at the end of the day, I trust Jason Light, and I feel like he's going to make the best decision to make this team successful. Whether we get a running back, tackle, quarterback, whatever he chooses. Remember, he brought Tom Brady here. Got Tom Brady here, and then Tom Brady brought the rest with him. And fans keep found to realize, Tom Brady brought everybody. No. Who brought Tom Brady? Jason Light.
Right.
So, trust in Light. We're going to be okay. We got
trust in Light.
Yes, trust Jason Light. And we got we don't have a very tough division. And we got a shot at making the playoffs. I'll take it. I'll take a playoff appearance over than a losing season any day of the week. And I know any Bucs fan can agree with that.
Huncho, 1 minute. The floor is yours. Give us what you got in a minute.
This is what I meant to say in my walk-off. This all that wrapped in one. Okay. Let's just keep this in mind. Whether they draft our guys or who we want or who we don't like, whatever college they come from, or whatever, we're all here for one thing, and that's the win. So regardless if whoever they pick, and once they put that jersey on, we're gonna represent the name in the front. You understand that?
Amen.
So whoever it is and wherever they come from, it doesn't even matter at that point. When they sign with us, we just here to win, and that's all that matters. And that's what I'm gonna lead off with.
I think both of you gentlemen hit the nail on the head. My one big thing and walk off quickly is this. I agree with everything you guys just said. Whoever we draft, let's rally around him because, damn it, we root for the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey. And I'm a rider. Right when we drafted Trask, I wanted Kellermond over Trask. But what do? I bought Trask jersey because I'm a Bucs fan. I'm a name on the front of the guy jersey. So if we did draft the quarterback, whoever the hell our first round pick might be, I'll get their t-shirt or jersey in some shape, way, or form, as I always do. I got a Logan Hall t-shirt last year that Fanatics couldn't make if their ass wasn't in their head. I mean, it took him 18 tries to get me a Logan Hall t-shirt in the right size, but that's a story for another podcast. But ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening with Jeremy, Huncho, and Tones, and my last impression is this. We ain't going to draft a quarterback because I think Todd Bowles is fighting for his job, folks.
All right,
I
let
think
me get out.
I think we're gonna draft one, but not day one. I think we're gonna draft one, but not day one. I think we're
So
gonna
who you-
go with the approach of, you know, a Brock Purdy type. We're gonna draft a veteran college kid day 3, perhaps. And one name I
Day
keep
2.
an eye on, day 2 could be as well. I like Malik Cunningham a lot. If you guys are
I just don't
unfamiliar
see
with
us.
Malik, if you
Who
guys are
though?
unfamiliar with Malik Cunningham, watch him. The kid could play. He had 20 rushing touchdowns in one season at Louisville. 20. And he played there for 5 years. So he
You
has
know,
5.
you know who also had about that same amount last year?
Anthony
Will.
Richardson.
Was it Richardson or was it? Is it Malik? Is either Malik Hooker or Will Levis? One of those.
Hey, I'm not gonna be surprised at any answer. But all I'm saying
I
is
think that was Will Levis.
I'd rather wait for a QB until
I
the
just
later
don't-
rounds. But
we don't draft like our QB drafting ain't been the kickers and the quarterbacks ain't been that good, bro.
hey,
Right.
however it's got to be, fella, we'll see, man. And that's
We'll
why
see.
That's why I don't want a QB this year, because I feel like we'd kind of just be settling on one, right? Next year, you at least have a big 3: Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr. So, you know, maybe wait, maybe not. We'll see. Whatever the hell happens, we'll be ready to roll come tomorrow.
Maybe Lamar Jackson in the trade. Who knows? We had
No,
never
I don't
know.
think that. We don't got no money. I don't think we got no money for that guy.
After we pay Tom Brady, we will. We're paying Tom Brady
Next year.
We're paying a credit card.
Yeah, we got to pay off our debt. We got to kick the can around a little bit, and we got to flow.
Tomorrow,
with the
11 o'clock, we'll be picking.
Yeah, tomorrow it's gonna be a little late, but we'll be picking around the 9 or the 10 o'clock Eastern to 11 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, between that hour, because they like to drag the hell out of the first round. Any last comments, Jeremy?
Stay in the first round. Don't trade out.
I'm with it, man. Stay in the first round. Don't trade
Let's
out.
get in the first round. Let's get our guy. Let's fire the cannons. Let's go Bucs, baby.
Fire the damn cannons. Go Bucs. It's been J-Lo, Tampa Tones, Huncho. We're all fired up. We've been with you guys for almost an hour longer than we promised. So I don't know if that's good or bad. No, it's great, guys. As Tina Jacoby joins us on Facebook as well. Better late than never. It's been a tremendous Buccaneers. I got to get out of here before I got to put Jeremy on the payroll with how long he's been with us. So, Jeremy, we'll hopefully catch you in another show very soon, brother.
Amen, bro. Take care, man. Go Bucs.
I'll talk to you tonight, probably. Go Bucs.
Amen.
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. Beat Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my